Welcome to the news, the most reliable rumors anywhere on the internet. I don't even know what that means, reliable rumors. I have not been to Baghdad. I have been everywhere, but I do not remember ever going to Baghdad, let alone Baghdad CrossFit. Wild, huh? I doubt it's a real affiliate, but...
If you've ever wondered what a CrossFit gym looks like in Baghdad, I'm going to put you on it right now. First of all, pay attention to the neighborhood. It's pretty industrial. With the wars, there's been a lot of infrastructure that's been damaged, and it's been fixed to a certain extent, but mostly by business owners. At a citywide level, Baghdad does need a lot of help in terms of broken streets and stuff. Yeah, I bet you're not expecting this. Neither was I, I'm not going to lie. This is a cafe / CrossFit gym in the middle of Baghdad. If your jaw dropped, so did mine, and the coffee was fantastic. Look, here's the
of course, the coffee's fantastic in Baghdad. I like the way she says that. Baghdad CrossFit gym in Baghdad.
CrossFit side. There's also a ballet studio for little girls in there. It was really busy, and I think a latte cost me $4.
Did you hear that? A ballet studio for little girls.
There was a fresh juice bar and a place to order food from. And then when you hop over to the gym,
did you see the big ass fan? How'd they get that there?
There was a big space with lots of explanatory materials and a schedule. The classes were co-ed, but they were planning to introduce some female-only classes.
Oh, some co-ed classes, very advanced. Anyway, CrossFit gym in Baghdad. I did see some CrossFit vernacular semantics on the wall. I saw Grace and another girl workout on there. Pretty cool. So who would have thought CrossFit gym in Baghdad? What is Spencer Panek doing? What are the Panchicks doing? I always wonder, do these guys still train together? And here we go. Scotty, a legend. Scotty and Spencer. Spencer making a legend out of himself with big brother Scott. On Monday, Spencer Panek and I trained together, says Scott Panek on his Instagram. We don't do the same workouts, but nothing beats having someone going through it with you, especially your brother. Being that I have 3 sons, this really hits me in a good spot. I appreciate it. I love seeing these guys together. I love to see Saxon in the mix too. Anytime one Panchik is great, 2 Panchiks is better, and 3 Panchiks is like, might as well go out and buy a lotto ticket. Cool to see these dudes together. Fantastic. And here we go. The news is never the news without a little bit of controversy. Here we are on with Lauren Khalil and Chase Ingram. I don't know what the show is, but here we go. This might be Death by, I'm not sure. Here we go.
Doesn't spend a lot of time in the social media limelight. He doesn't spend a lot of time doing podcasts or a YouTube channel or all these things that athletes may feel like it is required of them, and sometimes it is required of them, depending on the partners and the sponsors that the obligations that they have there. And I think Jeff could be in that really nice sweet spot of having long, sustainable success at the CrossFit Games at the highest level.
You may never see someone at that Matt Tia level again.
Did you hear that? You may never see someone at that Matt Tia level again. No mention of Rich, just noting.
Honestly, quite frankly, you know how hard it is to win 2 after winning 1, and like the mounting pressure that they've experienced something that maybe nobody ever will again.
We are going to start very soon developing another tier in the pantheon of CrossFit gods. Tia Tumi is about to leave the space of the Rich and Matt and Tia crew. She's leaving. She already has 6. And you get people like John Young saying, yeah, but she's competing against people who aren't as good as the people that Fraser and Froning competed against. But let me tell you, Tia's come back from taking a year off. She grew a baby inside of her. She's been crazy dominant, and now she's going to come back for 7. It's done. I don't want to hear Tia in the same vein as Rich and Matt anymore. It's done. Here we go. Unless she gets hit by a train tomorrow, Here we go. The Tia Tumi is now, she is on a whole nother level where the level doesn't even exist. Tia is about to create it for us. That's it. You heard it here first. Don't disrespect Tia. It's done. Or it's very close to being done. We're witnessing it. The development of the greatest CrossFitter, hands down, undisputed, who ever lived, Tia Tumi. She's going to put on a show. Even if Horvat puts it to her at the games, which she won't. But even if she did, it's the Tia Tumi show. Yes. Yes. Don't even try to push back. Tia was also recently on a fantastic did a fantastic interview. It says the title of the podcast is "I Will Win the 2024 CrossFit Games: The Return of Six-Time Fittest Woman on Earth, Tia Tumi." The podcast is the Not So Fit Couple podcast. It's not a it doesn't go into a lot of detail in a lot of depth, but at the level that this conversation takes place, there are a ton of sparks there for the next interview Tia does. So anyone who's going to interview her next, I highly recommend watching this. This is a great, I don't mean this in a negative way, superficial look at her, but it really lets you know that there is a lot going on inside of the champ, and she is a completely, fully developed human being now. Now we are seeing something. We are seeing a mother, a woman, an earthling, and this is a complete development, and also performing at the highest level. I wonder how many sports that this has even happened in. And for those of you who have kids, you'll pick up on it right away.
But back in the day, and this is crazy because it's come full circle, my why was as simple as just creating memories and creating stories for my future children. And that's simply what got me into this. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to just sit back and, live an ordinary life, which is not a problem. That is not a bad thing. And I'm not having a go at someone that wants to do that, because sometimes I envy that. But for me, I was like, no, I want to be able to have these memories and have these stories to tell my future children, because I want them to go out and live extraordinary lives, no matter what it is they're interested in. Is it playing the piano? Is it traveling the world?
There's a next level articulation coming from Tia that I've never heard her perform before. There's a conciseness and a clearness. The podcasters give her a ton of space to express herself. The only thing I could have asked for is maybe some deeper probing questions. But if they would have done that, then it probably wouldn't have covered as much surface area and as many topics as it did. Fantastic podcast. Once again, it's called the Not So Fit Couple Podcast with Tia Tumi. It was published 8 days ago. If you're a Tia Tumi fan, I highly recommend it. Or especially if you're a mom or a couple, there are some gems in there. So I highly recommend that. To the CrossFit Open we go. I don't know who this guy is with the fantastic mustache, but here we go.
CrossFit Open is right around the corner, and everybody knows there's probably going to be crossovers in it.
There will not be crossovers in the CrossFit Open. He said the CrossFit Open is around the corner, and everyone knows that crossovers are coming. That is not true. There will not be crossovers in the CrossFit Open. It's just absolutely ridiculous absurdity, self-serving. You're out of your mind. But anyway, I'll let it slide. Not everyone's as smart as I am. So we'll let that go. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, the Barbell Spin. Here we go. CrossFit Pleasanton to host 24.1 CrossFit Open live announcement. That's Alexis Raptis, Jeffrey Adler, Alex Gazan, and Brent Fikowski. The 24.1 CrossFit Open live announcement will feature 4 of the top athletes in the sport. CrossFit announced that 2 weeks ago. What they didn't announce is where the live announcement would be held. So they told us who would be in it, but they didn't say where. Well, that's because we have the Barbell Spin. That's where we get that stuff. Over the weekend, during an Instagram live on the Training Think Tank page, Alexis Raptis revealed that she would be going to Pleasanton, California for the 24.1 Open. Oops. I love you, Alexis. She then questioned if she was supposed to share that. Oops. So a quick Google search shows that Pleasanton is a suburb in the East Bay region of San Francisco. Digging deeper, you find there's a CrossFit Pleasanton. At this point, everything seems to point to this location of the 24.1. But maybe Alexis misspoke, and maybe she meant to say Pleasant Hill, California. That's where I grew up. That's the home of Diablo CrossFit. It's hosted an open announcement in the past. How could we see if CrossFit Pleasanton is really where the live announcement will be? ? Says Mr. Spin. Let's look at the CrossFit Pleasanton schedule. And he nails it. I bet you there's people at HQ, the vast majority didn't even know it was going to be there. And yet it's broken by the Barbell Spin. By the way, if you work at HQ, you should be so stoked. This is how you know you're succeeding as a company, when something like the Spin exists. This is like Sony has sites like this, or Apple has sites like this that revolve, and there's an excitement and titillation and suspense and detective work. And we care so much that we spend our time trying to figure this stuff out. Barbell Spin. It is the only news source you need. Unsubscribe to the Sevan podcast. You don't need that. Unless you want to hear our deeply religious values. And finally, the ultimate junk food in the CrossFit media space. The ultimate junk food. Rots your teeth right out of your head. It's called Around the Whiteboard. With the brilliant and funny and yummy Pedro White. The debate will begin. The finals of the Around the Whiteboard show will be tomorrow. And what a cast they have. Andrew Hiller, the true needle mover. Brian Spin from the Barbell Spin, the guy who knows the most. And then some new guy, Seth. Seth with the puppy. I forget what his account is. Seth jumped ship. Seth jumped my mom. Seth jumped your mom. I forget. Anyway, tomorrow, I think it's I don't know. I don't know when it is. I don't know when it is tomorrow. I want to say, let's say 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is going to be the big show, the finale of season 1 of Around the Whiteboard. These dudes are going to battle it out. And that is the news.